Good morning, Daniel, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for being with us during this backbending exercise. I have Daniel here who has so graciously agreed to work with me, and I'm excited to walk him through this sequence that I think will be enlightening, refreshing, and lots of fun for him out here in the beautiful backyard.
Good
Daniel?
morning, Yogi. I think this is serious. I'll take my hat off, I guess.
You can. So I'll ask you to go ahead and you can start in child's pose.
Child's pose?
Yes, that would be great. And
What is that?
I can certainly demonstrate that for you. So child's pose is when you bring your backside back to your heels, reach your arms forward, stretching, making sure to use your breath. And this is your opportunity to set your intention and to find space as you stretch your arms forward and rest your bottom on your heels and relax. And while you're preparing for the practice, what I would like to do is share a few inspirational quotes. Now these quotes, the preliminary ones, are by B.K.S. Iyengar, who is the world's greatest and best known teacher of yoga, and I happen to have a copy of his Light on Yoga book here. So I'm going to start with a few inspirational quotes about backbends specifically. Backbends are not poses meant for expressionism. Backbends are meant to understand the back parts of our bodies. The front body can be seen with the eyes, but the back body can only be felt. That's why I say these are the most advanced postures, where the mind begins to look at the back. For a yogi, the back-bending asanas are meant to invert the mind, to look in and back. Without the accurate spine movement, one can't exist dynamically. Back bends demand a certain standard both in the body and the mind. Lastly, Iyengar says, inversions work on certain parts of the body. Standing poses work on certain parts, and so the twists and balances. But the understanding of penetration of the mind on the spinal nerves and spinal muscles are not touched by the above poses except in back bends. I'm also focusing on something that my teacher impressed upon me, and that is focusing sequences on the seasonal time of the year. And I have a few quotes that talk a little bit about the rebirth and the budding and freshness of the spring season. Spring makes its own statement so loud and clear that the gardener seems to be only one of the instruments, not the composer. I love spring anywhere, but if I could choose, I would always greet it in a garden. And in fact, I'll add, we're practicing right next to my garden. So it's very inspirational for me personally. The beautiful spring came, and when nature resumes her loveliness, the human soul is apt to revive. An optimist is the human personification of spring. Spring is when life's alive in everything. And lastly, when you find peace within yourself, you become the king, the kind of person who can live at peace with others. Be a lamp to yourself, be your own confidence, hold on to the truth within yourself as to the only truth. And that's a quote by Buddha. So now that I've shared these quotes, I hope that they've been beneficial and relevant as they talk about backbending and seasonality and setting the general tone for the practice. So what we're going to do is move into the warm-up. And in doing so, Daniel is going to begin in the cat-cow position. So Daniel, you're going to be on all fours on your hands and you'll be up. And what I'd like you to do is arch your spine. So you're going to be bringing it all the way up. You can bring it all the way up so you have the nice curvature here. And then release it into cow. So you're going to go deeper. You can go even deeper if you can. Yes. And this will help stretch out the shoulders and the back and prime you for the back bending exercises that we're going to be moving into. And you can do this a few times. And also be sure, as I had a conversation with Daniel, it's about scanning your body and knowing where you are today and never pushing yourself. So taking yourself to your own personal limits and not pushing yourself to a point where you're uncomfortable. This should always be comfortable
Not quite.
and full of pleasure for the practitioner. I'll also ask you, Daniel, you can begin rotating your body. You can start, counterclockwise, so with the hips and the shoulders. I can demo that for you just so you can see. So you'll be like this, and you'll start moving around and you'll plant your hands, so making sure they're plugged into the mat, and you'll move in a circular fashion. And you'll do this a few times, and it will help loosen up the wrists and the hips and your joints. And then in yoga, what we like to do is make sure that we're addressing both sides of the body. So we'll do that in the opposite direction, in the clockwise direction. Another thing you can do, Daniel, is flip your palms and stretch your hands out in this way so that your fingertips are pointing towards your thighs. And that'll give you a nice, deep, rich stretch in the wrist area and the hands. You don't have to apply too much pressure, and you don't have to do it for too long. And then just shake it out. Okay. So the next pose we'll be going into is the seated forward fold. And what I would like to do is offer Daniel a blanket in case he would like one. And I could position that right under your bottom, and you can sit on that blanket if you'd like. And you'll begin stretching forward. So you'll take your hands as far as they can go, never pushing yourself, never stretching too far. Your legs do not have to be absolutely straight. They have a natural curvature, so you can respect that. And this again is going to be priming you for the back bends we'll be moving into. So you can do that for a few moments. Enjoy the stretch. You're going to feel it in your hamstrings, back of your legs, and it'll be a really nice release. Okay, Daniel, now you can bring your hands up, and I'm going to help you get into what we call Gomukhasana arms. And that means you'll take this arm and put it behind your shoulder, exactly. This one goes right there. And you're just going to stretch the area here in your arms out, because we'll be utilizing this area when we go into our back bend. So all of this prep is building up to the specific poses we'll be working on today in our back bend focus. Okay? And when we talk about doing things to one side, I'll ask you to switch, and you can go ahead and do the same exact thing to the other side, so we're stretching out your arm in the same way.
You need to be closer to the panel.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the next thing, Daniel, I'm going to have you do is I will ask you to lay back, and I'll ask Chloe to step out of the way, which she will when you begin laying back. Okay. And I'm going to give you the prop that we have on hand today. So I'll ask you to bring your legs up so your knees are pointing towards the sky. And I'll give you this ball in between your legs, if you can handle that, and you can tell me, okay? And what we're going to do is a little bit of ab firing. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you to extend your right leg and hold that in position. Okay? So that's working very nicely to stretch out your hamstring. And not only that, you're really working your glutes right now, which is a component of the whole process for back bending. So you can take your leg down, thank you. Take the next leg up, that's great. And then hold it there, making sure that you have your feet pointing straight up. Okay. You can take that leg down. And now I will ask you to try, if you'd like, if you can, to raise both legs at the same time. Very nice, very nice. And what this is doing is completely firing up your glutes. So you're getting a great, great warm up. Okay, perfect, Daniel. Thank you very much. That's great. You did a great job with that. Okay. Now, I'll ask you to come into bridge pose. And bridge pose simply means you're going to lift up your midsection, exactly. And I'm going to give you here just a little bit of assistance, okay? And you just your midsection, and yep, very nice, okay? And so here you're firing your abs and you're stretching to get ready for your back bends, okay? Okay, the last piece, I'll help you, can just come right on down, is going to be Daniel coming up. Okay, you're going to come up, Daniel. Stand up for me, please. Okay, and I'm going to ask you to move in to what we call crescent lunge, okay? And all that means is that you're going to be lunging forward and raising your arms up. Okay? And you can connect your hands, you can interlock your thumbs if you'd like. Okay, that's great. And then you can stand in Tadasana. And then let's take it down and do the other side. Step your right foot back. That's great. Really great. Okay, Daniel. So at this point, I'll ask you to come back into Tadasana. Thank you. And as a next step, I will walk you through Sun Salutation A. Then we'll move into our core poses. So in Sun Salutation A, okay, you're in Tadasana. And then you can swan dive down and put your hands on your feet. Do a full back bend, full forward fold, then a half fold where your hands are on your ankles, then a forward fold again. Okay? And then you're going to walk your feet right on back to downward dog. Okay. And you're going to give a nice stretch. Okay. You're going to raise your right leg and bring it forward. Yep. Raise your left leg, bring it forward. And you'll swan dive right back up. Then I'll have you just take it down one more time. Forward fold, half fold. We'll forward fold again and we'll walk on back. Okay. And then this time I'll ask you to bring your right leg forward and raise yourself up into Warrior One. Very, very nice. Okay. Then you can put your hands down and step forward. Okay. And rise on up. Back into Tadasana. And then come right back down. Step your right leg back. And your left leg back. And then I'll just have you step your left foot forward. And you'll rise up into Warrior One once again. Okay. Very nice. And Daniel, you'll finish in Tadasana. Okay. So for the next pose, I'll have you come down, forward fold, and then step back into downward dog. Okay. And then from downward dog, I'll have you move into upward dog. Okay. And then from upward dog, I'll have you release down onto your stomach completely. Okay. And then you're going to raise your arms and your legs into locust pose. And locust pose is your very first back bend in this sequence. And you're doing a great job. Body's aligned well, looking really, really great. From there, Daniel, I'll ask you to move into Sphinx pose. So you're going to bring your arms forward, and you can feel free to back up if you'd like onto your mat. So your arms are going to be, your knees, your elbows will be flat here. Exactly. And you'll bend up as you can, and I'll come and check you here to make sure your alignment is right. Looking good. Little hands on assist here. Things are looking really good in Sphinx. Okay. After Sphinx, we can move into bow pose. And Daniel, what you can do is in bow, what you'll do is you'll raise this leg, okay, and you can reach back if you can and grab your ankle, and You can feel free to do that on the other side if you feel comfortable doing so. Very good. Very, very good. Well done, well done. Okay, you can release gently. Very nice. Okay, and for our last back bend, that's perfect. You'll stay on your knees and you'll move into camel, and I will demo that for you. So camel pose simply is, from your position, you can modify camel and put your hands on your waist and back bend in this direction towards your heels, or you can go ahead and grab your heels. And this is camel. Okay, and I'll come and take a look. Well done, Daniel. Very, very nice. Looking great. Okay. Feel free to come forward, and you could go right back into table pose and do a few cat-cows. And these cat-cows are going to serve as counter poses for the back bends. So here we are, curving the spine, which is the opposite of what we were doing in back bending, and really giving ourselves a nice counteraction to all of the back bends. And you can do that making sure to be mindful of your breath. Use your breath at all times. Breathing deeply and releasing. Okay. All right. The next pose I'm going to take you into is pigeon pose on your back. So all you'll need to do is release back onto your bottom, please. Okay, legs will be forward. Okay, and you can go ahead and lay down on your back, and I can move this blanket for you. Okay, that's great. And what you're going to need to do is take one leg, okay, and then the other leg, and then you'll take this leg and put it over, and there you are, doing crow on your back. And this is going to stretch out your hips and your hamstrings and give you a very nice release. Okay, and you'll stay in that pose, really being mindful of the breath and focusing. Enjoying your stretch. Okay, and then Daniel, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and ask you to do your other legs. You can bring that down, take this one right here, and enjoy your stretch. Using your breath. Okay. Enjoying it. Really enjoying hearing the birds singing while we practice. Okay. So another natural progression from this position will be for you to put your feet on the ground, and you can now twist your legs in one direction. Feel free to look in the opposite direction if you'd like. And you can hold that. And these twists will really help in releasing from those back bends and from the other positions that we worked on. Okay, and then you can move on to the other side. Great. Using your breath, enjoying the sunshine, smile. It's a beautiful day. And we're really happy to have our special guest, Chloe, the poodle, here as well, enjoying laying in the sunshine this afternoon. Okay, I'd like to guide you through two more poses. And another very natural pose as we continue with our counter poses and our cool down would be to go right on into supported bridge again. So you just lift up, and when you think about our sequence is indicative of a story. We started out with a nice warm-up, priming, progressing, getting the body in the right state to do the back bends that we were in. We did our peak poses, and now we're bringing them down. We're doing our counter poses, and we're doing our cool. How is that feeling for you, Dan?
It's good.
And I can take the ball out, okay, and you can gently release down on your own. Okay, and then I'll ask you to straighten out your legs, and we're going to again go into a very nice forward fold before we move into Shavasana. Daniel, whenever you're ready, you can stretch out your legs and your back one more time, bringing it forward. Yep, very good. Very, very good. We're wrapping up. Ladies, Victoria and Julia, we're wrapping up. Just give us 5 minutes. Thank you. Okay, and we're going into Shavasana next. So Daniel, I hope you're enjoying your stretch. Okay. Victoria and Juliet, please, okay? You have to step on out.
Hey,
thank you, girls. Thank you.
Victoria, look.
Nice and easy, guys. Okay, Daniel, and I'm going to invite you to lay down on your back. I would like to share with you this cool washcloth. I'll let you smell the lavender first. That move in your eyes. And I would also like to sign off with some aromatherapy. I have natural lavender oil on my hand, so I'm letting you smell that before I go ahead and rub that in. Enjoying this time, reflecting on the poses, and resting and finding peace in Shavasana. So I'd like to share this with you. Smile because you took the time to take care of yourself. Smile because you can overcome challenges in your life. Smile because you're able to experience movement and inner peace and inner strength. And continue to enjoy your Shavasana. Okay, Daniel, so you can gently roll to your right side and find a seated position. You can bring your hands to your heart, and I'd like to sign off by saying, wisdom is knowing we are all one. Love is what it feels like, and compassion is what it acts like. A quote by Ethan Walker III. I'll sign off by saying, the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.